We're a little bit different, and I'm all for that's their push and their directive. In our program, we don't allow the word P5 to be said, and it's more of sometimes just a negative thing. So the idea behind the P6, I personally don't try to draw, in recruiting especially, draw a lot of attention to that, because for us, and I'm sure a lot of these guys, that's one of those things that holds us back. I actually challenged ESPN in our meetings, not challenged them, but asked them more so in our meetings, is why do we even refer to a Power 5 or a P5? Where does that come from? Why do we need that? It does nothing but harm, in recruiting some of the guys that aren't maybe labeled in that. So we look at ourselves as no different. We treat our kids no different. So I think that to get that recognition, I think is a big deal, whether it's called P6 or just get rid of anything that's associated with P5. It does nothing for anybody.
How was the response when you said you kind of had challenged or brought that up about the P5?
Well, ESPN kind of looked around like, I don't really know why we say it. Then it became the autonomy group, so they had some idea behind it, but even like the announcers were like, yeah. I'm like, well, just so you know, if you don't ever mention that, what's the difference? I mean, if we beat UCLA, we don't want to say, hey, we beat a P5. No, we beat UCLA. If UCLA beats us, they beat Cincinnati. It's not, well, they beat somebody that's outside of the P5. They're in the P6. I don't think that that's relevant to anything. We all got the same number of scholarships. We all play on the football field. I try and tell recruits in general, it's nothing. Their scholarship check's no different than your scholarship check. Their coaches' checks might be a little bit different, only because of the, maybe the TV money and different things. But what is that?
For the whole notion of it, it was the P5 was created by the media. Power 5 is not even something that existed. The autonomy group is a legal term, but to get rid of the P5, as you were going on, I mean, if we stop saying it, it doesn't exist. That's
what I challenged ESPN. Say, why talk about it? Why bring it up? Why separate you on the bottom of the screen sometimes? Leading rushers within the P5. I mean, leading rushers. I know that sometimes the big brothers want to, make sure that they can be the big brothers, when in reality, just be a brother.
Yeah. Cincinnati, you and I spoke about it a little bit on the air, off the air, just what the vision is. The team was 4-8, went 11-2. I mean, just the success that this team has had in the 2 years that you've been there. As you step into year 3, just what you can tell me about the culture and the environment of Cincinnati.
Well, it's growing, and there's nothing that's more powerful than positive energy in a program. It's like a game. I mean, there's nothing better than momentum and positive energy, and I think the greatest growth period that we've had as a team is not camp and last off season and through the season. It's from the end of our bowl game to where we are right now, just meaning the positive energy for guys to not just grow in the weight room, but grow off the field, grow as a locker room. There's obviously new challenges every year and different things, but our ability to grow because of positive energy is what's exciting to me. We don't define ourselves based on wins and losses, because sometimes you might say you have a letdown if you don't win 12 games. The reality is, how do we really play? How do we function and work amongst as a group? And for us in general, can we play big and better on big stages?
Randy Edsall, I say coaches and players don't have decisions when this stuff happens. Just what you can say about your relationship with Randy, kind of what he's meant to the conference.
I don't have a real relationship with many people in the league. Obviously I don't have a great relationship. I don't talk with Coach, but I know from afar, obviously what he's done and been the stability. I know when we sit in those meetings, I'm not a young guy, but I'm a young guy as a head coach, and so I don't say a whole lot. And obviously he's been through it a lot longer and a hell of a lot more input than I do, and so I get a lot of insight from the things that he says and the things that worry him. But most important, I don't want to say I feel bad, because it's not like, hopefully it's not a negative. I mean, you can take it how you want it, but sometimes I just feel bad for players and coaches just because there's another change for them. Whatever that change is, maybe that change will end up being great, but sometimes change is most difficult, especially on 18 to 22-year-olds.